Dislyte, download now.
What is going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here in the event, which doesn't really matter. I'm actually here because I want to showcase Ollie off and kind of do his review. But since it's really cool that you can actually utilize Ollie in the event, so for everyone that is not going to get Ollie, you know, at least you have a slight chance of being able to to utilize him a little bit. The story seems to be decent. Oh, that guy got shot. All right, here we go. Obviously, which is weird. I thought you were gonna get Ray and Anita to play with, and like, no, we're just gonna give you these two jobbers. So really quickly, I do want to specify a couple things about him. Hopefully, they don't trigger the skills. So we already, well, I'll go more deeply into his kit when I actually can freeze it. But you know, quickly, his S1 has a silence on it, 80% silence. I'm pretty sure. No, this is level 1, so it could actually go higher. We'll check that later. Now, one thing that I didn't know when I was reading his passive is that Law of Duel is actually his S3. So when you try to kill a character, when you kill a character, he prevents the death. So it's not an actual death. The character does not die. And then they get invincibility and recovery. Obviously, there's two ways to counter that, and I wanted to speak about that really quickly, is that you could buff block that character that you're going to kill, so they won't get the invincibility, they won't get the recovery. They won't die, but they won't get those buffs either. Another really cool thing is that since it says cast Law of Duality, one thing that I saw in here, I don't know if I'll be able to show it, so I'm just going to say it, is that if you have Ollie stunned, he will not cast the ability, which is very interesting that there's a little ways to kind of counter Ollie out that doesn't make him like the supreme broken. And buff block seems to be really good, and soul stripping buffs is going to be really important if he gets into the meta enough once people start acquiring him or any of his sisters. So as we already know, the Law of Duat is the deals damage to an enemy equal to 170 of the attack plus a portion of the target's max HP, inflicts defense, break, and taunt. So it's not even really meant to kill, and especially because of the taunt, you want to waste that character's time. So it's all good in the hood. So really good character overall, and we'll go through and see what his skill ups and stuff are. Remember, this is on like a 9-turn cooldown. I know it goes down to I think maybe 6 or something. We'll see. So hopefully that's probably not gonna give me. I actually like its quick animation, to be honest with you. Oh, you give me his animation, really? Really good. Allows him to like sit there and he's tanks. He's like a different version of ooh, and there it is. Now that's just really cool, right? So it doesn't matter if that was actually a good example. So it doesn't really matter if his actual S3 is on cooldown. He'll still throw out the S3, and we're gonna see in a second that now it's now it is on a 9-turn cooldown, and this is still on a cooldown. Now, only thing I can't check, honestly, I can't. I would love to see if Ocean Waves works on his passive, but sometimes I have to specifically read how it says. It could mean that it only works on skills, which means it might not work on the passive. But you know, I'll reread that and we'll see how that goes. And you see the silence. He's obviously buffed in this thing, but as you can see, his death prevention thing is not like absolute. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Preventing death and then you only get to heal like a little bit outside of that is not too crazy. You're still going to need to be able to sustain the character after they've been revived, especially like I said, if they get buff blocks so they're not invincible or anything like that. So I do like you could see it. You could actually see that he's a decent character. He's not like busted, but he is a decent character. And the reason why I'm showing you this now, because you can't actually go back here. It says you can replay the event in Atlas, but I'm almost a billion gajillion sure that you actually can't like replay Ollie, like use Ollie again. So I think the event is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty cool. I like it. Let's go and check out the boy though.
I will restore my family's past glory.
I'm sure you will. His story is pretty much intertwined with the main story. Like it's kind of like it's not really a surprise as I'm reading everything, like what's going on, because it's like kind of obvious. But now we can look at his skills. We could see.
Some burdens must be carried alone.
Sure, that makes no sense. But we'll be able to see what people are already built. So what is the most popular? This will obviously change because I already kind of want to not have attack. Oh wait, what? Why would you run him on attack? Immunity kind of makes a little bit of sense because like I said, if he does get stunned, his passive, S2 passive will not trigger. So you kind of need him to not get stunned in the beginning, and he'll prevent death and then do all that stuff, and then he'll attack someone else. Now here it is. Grants a 35% chance of reducing all ability cooldowns by 1 turn at the start of each turn. So one, I hate when it says each turn, because it's not each turn, it's each of that character's turn. But I am curious if that works on his passive. I can't test it out, obviously, unfortunately, but I'm assuming it does. I'm assuming it works on his passive, so I would actually think that that might be the best, because it'll be annoying for you to keep track of it as a player, especially in PvP, to keep track of it. It'll also be great for you in PvE if you're using the character and this kind of comes off a cooldown. Plus his S3 is a really strong one. But I also will say, after using him a little bit, Hades doesn't seem that bad. Reason being is because he actually has no way of healing himself outside of the recovery that's on his skill. So like the only way that you're gonna get is this recovery if this lands on top of him. So he has no way of healing himself. So you could also say like, well, I don't need to heal him. I don't need to have him healing himself. I'll pair him with other healers, and that's a-okay. But let's say, you know me, I would want to see, and that's what to me the Hades set is for, is to see can this character solo stuff, and I think he technically should be able to if he has a decent amount of damage. Nothing here scales off anything else besides attack. So I would personally try Hades. I think that Hades will be crazy because he does this has a chance to do a decent amount of damage, and the fact that it can be triggered even when it's off cooldown is kind of nutty. And plus he has invincibility and he taunts and all other nonsense. I think that he could actually sustain himself through a lot of damage as well. So I think that that would be very interesting to see. I you know, can't crazy test it out, but I do think it would be nice to see. So we can see here that the silence stays at 80%, so you don't have to level it up to make it any better, which is great. Silence on an 80% chance on base, we like that. That's pretty good. And going up to 120% damage of his attack, so attack scaling is kind of important with him. I can see why you're going attack. Oh yeah, by the way, the leader skill is a 25% speed lead, same thing as Nut. Same thing as Nut. And then we already went with the passive, so we can get it. He already has it down, so 5 turns you can bring this down. If this is triggered by the ocean waves, that is nutty. And also, if you don't like the ocean waves, but you want him to be kind of recycle focus, you would go speed. You would make sure that he goes really quickly and stuff like that, which would be nice. But I do think that if a lot of people obtain this character, there will be a ton of strips that people will start to tech into their teams, or buff block they'll tech into their teams, and you will see it. Also, what's crazy, let's think about someone like Chloe that is going to be like, oh, you want to put invincibility and recovery everywhere? Let me take that off of you. Characters that steal buffs are going to be really strong in the upcoming meta, because a lot of these buffs, a lot of these new things are just buffs, and a lot of them can be taken or stripped off. So that is going to be a thing. This one also just goes up in damage and then goes 1 turn 2 down. So 4. This one's 5, and this one goes down to 4. So pretty standard, but still pretty nutty. And that's why I think that Ocean Wave. But I don't know. I'm a big fan of Hades set. I think on him. I think that would be interesting. And he is purple. So technically, since he is purple, if you look at the flow chart, I think he would be able to maybe. I don't know about solo chrono, but to prevent one character's death that is probably squishy might be enable you to push through a little bit more content. Guessing, I'm not saying guaranteed, but I do think that possibly if you have a decent enough team, he prevents one death so that reset doesn't happen, because a lot of times that one character where that pillar falls is like that character that's going to die. You prevent that, then he doesn't get the extra turn, and you can keep maybe potentially pushing him back and keep doing that work. So I definitely think he'll be able to help you get that Chronos clear if you haven't gotten it already. And what better way to end this video off? I'm still in channel 10. I see a bunch of Ollies popping up. So this will be one little pull. Not expecting nothing. Just not expecting nothing. I haven't spent money yet, like I said in the other video. I'm not going to be doing that. We're going to see how far we can get, how much stuff we can get, and by the end of like the week or the whatever, we'll do another big summon with all the resources. So, you know, that'd be crazy to get it here and not in the actual summon video, though. No, that would be so stupid. That would be absolutely stupid. That would be unprecedentedly stupid. There's no way. There's no way. Okay. Okay. But I did get the other speed lead. I did get the other speed lead, though. Now, does that reset my pity thing? It's not supposed to, right? Or does it still do it? I don't remember. So it goes back to 120? No, okay. Thank God. That's what I think they did change that, right? They did. That was one of the changes that they did. All right. Whew. Though, I mean, I obviously would have been happy, but that would have been nuts. And we got Nut. She's the other Speedly. She's literally, they both have the same Speedly. So I got his sister. Well, no, I can't even say that because he actually has a sister. His auntie. I got his auntie. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the little brief explanation of Ollie. Solid character, definitely. Easy to get around. I don't think he's broken. I don't think he's broken by any means. I could even see if someone said that they didn't want to summon for him because there's ways to, like I said, buff block kind of shuts him down pretty severely. Even if he's buff blocked himself, can't really do much of anything. He's not going to get his invincibility. The other person's not going to get the invincibility. Preventing death keeps him at 1 HP, so they're easily killable the next turn. So if not stripped and then taken off. So just saying, he's not the end all be all, but he's a really cool design. I love a character that has a way of doing skills when other things happen. A good example of that is Epic 7. There's a character that literally does that. You do a move and then all of a sudden they trigger their S3 or something like that, or they trigger a very strong skill. You know me, I like anything that's like counter attack based. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.